Hello and welcome to a day in the life of my iPad. Since I got the new M2 iPad Pro a couple of months ago, I've decided to use this as my main computer. And it made me realize that I'm not just using it as a computer, but to do so much more. So I wanted to share with you all the ways this device helps me stay organized, productive, and entertained throughout the day. Of course, not every day is the same, but I try to have some sort of routine to free up my headspace for as much creativity as possible. I really like to start my day a bit slowly. I'm really not an early riser, so I take my time, enjoy a nice cup of coffee, and just sit here pondering what's ahead of me. Sometimes I like to write morning pages, which is a creative technique that involves filling 3 pages in my journal with words capturing my stream of consciousness. They are meant to be handwritten and kept private, and I mostly do it when I'm grumpy and not motivated to do anything. It really helps with getting those creative juices flowing. I'm using the Zinnia app for this, and I've got a special section in my 2023 planner that allows me to write as much freeform text as I want. After my first cup of coffee, it's workout time. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to workouts, so I really like using my iPad to stream a fitness class that I can follow. At the moment, I'm working on my core strength and balance, but I do like to mix up my routine a little bit. So I'm switching between my favorite Les Mills core workouts and yoga with Adrienne. And of course, now it's time for some work. I have my iPad set up with different focus modes. So I'm starting by switching into work mode. This is super helpful to remove potential distractions because it hides apps that I don't want to use when I'm working. If you'd like to see how I've set this up on my iPad, I'll leave a link to my step-by-step tutorial in the description box of this video. I usually start the day by going through my calendar and time block how I want to spend my day, making sure I have enough rest time and thinking time. Then it's time to answer emails and respond to social media comments before the first meeting starts. I also use this time to do rough cuts of my videos and do anything that doesn't involve too much creativity but just needs to get done. And then it's already lunchtime, time for a quick break and some food. And if I'm not too busy, I like to spend 30 minutes or so practicing my piano. I've got a Kawai ES110 digital piano, which connects to the iPad via Bluetooth. It's super handy. Let's now switch the iPad into music mode and do some practice. I like using the Piano Marvel app for this, as it has a really nice learning mode and it feels like I'm making good progress. You'll see how the iPad recognizes the notes I'm playing, so it's really easy to follow and makes my practice really enjoyable. After my little practice, it's time to plan my afternoon, and for that I'm using the Notion app. I've got a content database set up where I'm tracking all my creative projects. Yes, I could use the Zinnia app for this too, but I like Notion because it allows me to plan a long time ahead but still be flexible with the dates. Plus, as a former software engineer, my brain still seems to work really well with databases to keep everything neatly organized. And now it's time for some creativity. This is always my favorite time of the day. For some reason, I'm much more creative after lunch, so I'm using this time to work on projects. Of course, I have a focus mode for this too, so let's switch it on. At the moment, I'm working on a collection of hand-lettered quotes to go into my planner. I also use this time to create content for the socials, work on new Procreate brushes, or try new iPad apps. You'll notice that I don't use the magic keyboard when I'm in creative mode. I only use it when I'm in work mode, which is usually in the morning. The app I'm using the most is Procreate, of course, but I also like using Adobe Illustrator if I need vector graphics, and Zinnia, of course, for journaling. And then I have a variety of other design apps here that I use every now and then. I've sped up the process of my quote creation here quite a bit, but essentially what I'm doing here is I start with a sketch and I trace the sketch quite a few times until I'm happy with the basic outline and the thickness of the letters. Then I'm changing the brush and then I'm tracing the letters again. And the brush that I'm using here is the modern lettering brush that's part of my dream lettering brush set. I recommend that you use a brush that doesn't have any texture on it to make it much easier to vectorize later on. Now I'm just filling in all the corners, and you can see every now and then I'm zooming in and out so I can see the whole composition to make sure that all the letters have roughly the same thickness. And for this, I'm using my Totally Crispy brush, but you can use any monoline brush for this as well. Once I'm happy with it, I'm copying this and then I'm pasting it into Adobe Illustrator. And then I'm turning on that tracing, adjust a few settings, and then I tap on expand vectorization, and here is my extended lettering piece with all the nodes that I can now adjust any way I want. And now we can take this and paste it into our Zinnia journal. And then once I'm finished, I allow myself to relax a little bit. This can either be playing a quick game, going for a walk or swim, or sometimes I practice the piano if I didn't have time at lunchtime. After dinner, I like to do some research, and this can be related to anything. Although my husband thinks I use it as an excuse to watch YouTube and TikTok videos. At this stage, I'm putting the iPad into relaxation mode, so I'm not tempted to do any more work. This helps me to relax and wind down before it's time for bed. I never take the iPad into the bedroom. It goes on the charger for the night, ready to be used again in the morning. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of inspiration of all the wonderful ways this magic device helps us every day. I really don't know what I would do without it. And now over to you. Let me know in the comments how you use your iPad every day.